The Tofukuji Buddhist temple is considered one of the 5 great Zen temples of Kyoto. Originally built in the year 1236, it burned down after a couple of centuries and then was rebuilt in the 15th century to the original plans and stands today as a fine example of a medieval Zen temple. Typical of most Kyoto temples, it's a group of more than a dozen wooden structures in a lush garden setting. Especially famous for the very large Sanmon temple gate, 65 feet high, and the bright fall colors of maple leaves when you're here in the autumn season. Here too we have a small Shinto shrine area with another torii tunnel leading up to a staircase that brings you up a hill. At this temple complex of Tofukuji, there are about a dozen sub-temples. One of the things it's most noted for is the fall colors. We arrived in early December, but still there was the lingering color of the maple leaves, which were really bright and spectacular. Another week or two, they'll all be blown down. By mid-December, late December, the colors will be largely gone. Of course, the peak of colors would happen in the month of November. And it would be especially beautiful here at Tofukuji. They have this small gully, which is the most famous area for the viewing of the fall colors. And we were looking in particular for the Abbott's Hall, because at the Abbott's Hall there is a very classical pebble garden that we wanted to see. And finally we got there. Be sure to explore well enough that you can find that little-known Zen meditation pebble garden at the Abbott's Hall and linger here a while to absorb the harmonious serenity. Smaller pebble gardens can be found scattered around various other temples. True aficionado of this style of pebble garden accented by symbolic clusters of large rocks might want to visit the most famous version at Ryoan-ji Temple in Kyoto's northwest outskirts. Tofukuji is a Zen Buddhist temple. And these are aids to meditation. You sit and quiet your mind. And this kind of pebble garden is designed to be looked at rather than walked through. So there's a veranda, and over on the side we have moss-covered hills that symbolize mountains. The rocks symbolize islands, it's said, and the pebbles symbolize the sea. But at the same time, ascribing all of these meanings to such a garden is somewhat limiting, because in Zen itself, the process is emptying your mind and just gazing out upon this beautiful, calm, and relaxing vista. And you pay an admission to go into each of the sections of the temple, and it's well worth it. It's a little confusing because guides at the gateways who sell you the tickets don't speak any English, and they'll give you a little pamphlet that'll have a map, and that will help guide you around through the grounds. And always the colors around us here at this temple garden were really enhancing our total experience. And then we ran into a very friendly local fellow who knows a lot about the temple complex and told us about Tofukuji. He was proud to show us the grave of one of Kyoto's more famous geisha because she was married to the nephew of J.P. Morgan, the famous financier. That was a rare treat, most enjoyable to speak English with an elderly local resident, a friendly guy who was proud to point out a few sites for us. Tofukuji was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1994, one of many in Kyoto. There is no admission charge to the complex of Tofukuji, and you can walk freely around some of the grounds, but there is an admission fee for the Zen gardens and that bridge to heaven with the great view of the fall colors. Tofukuji Temple is located on the eastern side of Kyoto, about a mile southeast of the Kyoto train station, so you could walk here from the center or take a bus or train. The Tofukuji Station of Japan Rail stops nearby, as well as the Keihan Electric Railway. You could also walk half a mile south to explore the Inari Shrine, as we've shown you in another movie. This is part of our series on the temples and gardens of eastern Kyoto, the Higashiyama district, and also we'll take you downtown in some of our other videos. Be sure to look for them on our YouTube channel.